Hello, welcome to the next video. In this video we're gonna talk about Vieridin's game against Fortin Ladies Professional 1 Dan. Vieridin was the second place player in TTQ Season 5. If you wanna know more about TT Series or TTQ, please check the link in the description. So before we start, few words about our today's Ladies Professional player. Karolina Fortin is Ladies Professional number 59. She was born in 1991, June 17. She's from Poland. Her current rank is Lady Professional 1 Dan. Her teacher is Katagami Daisuke 7 Dan. She became professional player in 2017, February 20th, and she is known as the first non-Japanese professional player in Shogi world. Her favorite playstyle is swinging rook, specifically central rook, and as funny episode, if you didn't realize, that's me. I'm your teacher on Shogi Harbour. So today I will show you my game against Vieridin. It's gonna be 4-piece handicap. So 4-piece handicap is where the handicap either don't have big pieces and it is hard for them to attack. Handicap receiver therefore must make sure that their big pieces stay active and efficient through the game so that you can utilize the difference of the army's power. So let's see what was Vieridin's idea for this game. So we have the typical opening. Well, Karo sensei puts her silver on 5-7, making sure that she's able to protect this pawn before the crossing rook comes. And here we have the perfect example of that. Yeah, the rook-pawn exchange was complete, but nothing more. Meantime, Vieridin will be creating a castle. It starts as left side Mino, but it slowly evolves into a gangi. It is also important that Karo will be trying to activate this gold over here, utilizing that in the attack, which is quite unusual. Usually we tell to attack with the silver. This handicap is a little bit different. The gangi is complete. Here Vieridin decides to redrop the pawn. That gives, of course, Karo sensei some advantage of pawn in hand, but also some safety because the snow roof castle was repaired. Now Vieridin needs to develop the attack. She does that by developing the knight. Meantime, Karo takes the vanguard pawn in the center. And here we see a strategy called right side king, a very unusual one, perhaps not very well known in European world or Western world, but definitely becoming more trending nowadays. So it's quite interesting to see Vieridin choose this one. The main question, of course, will be how are we going to use the bishop and the rook? And Karo sensei manages to control this bishop line by taking the vanguard pawn, and now rook will seemingly try to relocate itself. The question is where and how we're going to attack. So Karo will try to activate her other knight slowly, and we have this gold move to actually create space for the rook to swing into the third file. Very interesting idea from Vieridin. Karo is afraid of the pawn, so she drops the pawn back in its place. Currently the situation is that Vieridin's king is very stable, defended by 4 pieces. The rook is potentially active, the bishop not yet, but Vieridin clearly keeps the advantage from the handicaps still, Karo is in trouble. So the silver goes up, trying to create some pressure. The king goes up to help with the protection. And we again create a space for the rook over here so that we will be able to come here and counter attack. But in the meantime, you can see this small exchange going on here. Exchange of the knights. This is Karo's attacking knight, this is Vieridin's defensive knight, so this should benefit Karo a little bit. And here we go into the powerful rook move. Really scary moment. The question is, how will the attack start? And this is going to be effective. So Vieridin decides to start attacking with a knight drop 4-5. There was separate idea of attacking here. If we would take it, this knight would become active with this bishop being active. But the idea was to not take this pawn, and this might have been troublesome to defend. That was another option. Knight drop, of course, is also very scary. The idea is if the silver escapes, this square becomes weaker, and therefore this once more becomes a scary move. A really nice move from Vieridin, and even though it is a scary move, Karo sees chance here. He decides to take the knight and redrop it to here. So what just happened? We've created a hole in the roof of the castle, and we're gonna be threatening a pawn drop in front of the king. This alone isn't enough, especially that we've lost silver for a knight, but also, yeah, the pressure on this side, maybe in the future will become a good investment. That are the hopes, at least. Vieridin, of course, attacks, yeah, reacts on that move. Because there was a space made, Karo drops a knight, forking goes to general. So it doesn't feel too bad for Karo. She put some pressure on Vieridin, but it isn't winning at all. It's still very, very close game. Vieridin punches in, exchanging the defensive silver, very good move, and finally addresses the threat on her king. Thanks to that exchange, yeah, this king is a little bit weaker, so now that the rook line is activated, it becomes scary once more. Karo is desperate to block it. The bishop comes to attack, and this is very hard to defend, right? Really, really hard, this line. Very good move by Vieridin. King has to escape. The pawn is pushed. Yeah, it almost seems like Vieridin is winning here because she has an active bishop, right? That one active bishop just controls the situation perfectly. The question is, will you be able to pull it off until the very end? So we have silver drop trying to put some pressure, perhaps defend against the knight drop here. But actually, Vieridin does a great job here, dropping the silver. King has to defend the knight, yeah. And there was a chance here for Vieridin to try to take off this knight and therefore activate the rook. And this move would be very powerful because it not only attacks this poor silver that, yeah, cannot be easily defended. Yeah, we cannot take this pawn over here. I don't even know exactly how we can defend this silver right now. But on top of that, we attack this pawn, which was our only investment in this position. And if Vieridin was able to take this pawn, the whole attack of Karo Sensei would crumble, yeah? So this was perhaps interesting idea to try. But turns out that similar idea Vieridin tries over here, a few moves later, and it still works. It still works. In this moment though, Karo has option to drop the silver, attacking the rook while blocking the bishop. Last resort, last chance, and Vieridin goes back. So unfortunately, that wasn't the best move. We had a chance here. As we said, activation of big pieces is the priority, and in this case, it comes at the price of the rook actually. We don't mind losing the rook over here. We shouldn't mind. Because as an effect, we can promote our bishop and force this king actually into a mate. Cannot take the knight because it's protected. King will run here. I mean, it's not obvious at all, but the king has nowhere to go apart from this square. We have this powerful move. Horse 5-4, yeah. King cannot block. He goes up or down, the horse comes back, delivering the checkmate, yeah. So this was a chance for Vieridin to finally break through by putting the faith into her bishop, right? There is a side variation. What if king takes the talking? Yeah, we of course can see like the rook can promote, but there's actually even better move. Once more, we're gonna throw away the rook, promote the bishop, and basically force the king into a surrounded position. And this move is hard to defend because it attacks both this square and this square, and there is no piece drop that can defend them both. Well, you can imagine, yeah, there's no piece drop to defend them both, basically. If you defend this, this square falls. If you do the opposite, this square falls. So this would be quite decisive. Of course, it's important to notice that this king is surviving the rook drops. It was fine to give away the rook. So yeah, you could say that yeah, it was a chance for Vieridin to do something here. If only we managed to sabaki one piece, it was enough to break through. This is perhaps a good hint for also like equal games, non-handicap games. Sometimes sacrifices are needed so that you can achieve the greater goal of checkmating the king, yeah? Now both sides, if I remember correctly, started entering Byoyomi, but the general idea is still the same. Karo-sensei will try to block all of those attackers using her pressure of her general's pressure of pawns. Vieridin needs to find a way to activate those big pieces. So yeah. So both sides actually miss some attacking chances here. For example, at some point, Karo had this move, Vieridin had this move, but Byoyomi is Byoyomi, and what happened, yeah. The main idea is we put a pressure on the big pieces, and that's what's happening here. Here we're threatening to sacrifice the bishop for the silver, because exchanging a big piece for generals is also considered a good activation. Notice that once the silver is gone, this rook becomes active again. That was the main idea, but Karo-sensei blocks it. And both sides are a little bit scared. In Byoyomi, both sides prefer to defend the king a little bit. And eventually the scale tips and Karo will become more aggressive here, yeah? Now this pawn promotion is possible because the bishop sacrifice was not. Interestingly, this square is actually the critical one. Vieridin could have, instead of the pawn push, dropped her pawn here and fork those pieces. This knight drop was possible in few situations. The idea is again taking of the silver and activating the rook. Yeah, really hard to see move, but really interesting in the retrospective. Alright, so Karo attacks. And now unfortunately see Vieridin's big pieces are a little bit cramped. Tokin is a huge piece on the board. And although Karo doesn't have like decisive attack on the king, the main plan is eat those pieces, enter the king, and hopefully pick up enough material to checkmate the king. Let's see if that works out. Here we're protecting attack very patiently. Once more, once we have big initiative, we don't have to hurry. We can go slowly. Rook has to escape, the bishop is captured. We make another token. And this is an important move here. We've created a space for the king to escape through while protecting this 5-5 square, yeah, with enough defenders. And the most important move, we do not prioritize the attack, we prioritize the king safety, making sure that we have a way to enter the enemy camp is so important. Gives us so much confidence, yeah, in later slow and reliable attack as well. It is a possible strategy you can have in Shogi Endgame. Vieridin unfortunately has no option, no way to prevent this king from entering anymore. All that Karo has to do now is to surround this king and finally capture. And this is checkmate, where Vieridin resigned. So in this game, Vieridin showed us innovative right side king, but unfortunately missed decisive chances of activating her big pieces. Karo-sensei hopefully showed you how to use your advanced general pressure to later exchange into king's safety by coming closer and closer, yeah, to the enemy camp. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.